NFT investing for the long, how to pick projects that will stick around long term. What is going on, everyone? I'm Marco. This is Blockgems, and today I want to look at the data to provide you some insight, some information to do your own research and to try at least pick good projects in the NFT space. All right, let's jump right in. So this chart here tells you the volume for NFT projects that we have on mostly OpenSea. There is also data for Larva Labs. And every single candle of this one is a day. So if we look at the volume for the last few days, what we see is that more or less we are in line with what was going on in mid-August. Of course, today probably is a little bit higher, but this is the range. Now, there is a problem with that. And the problem, so to speak, is that today there are many more projects coming out than there were back in mid-August. Let me give you a little bit of an idea what I'm talking about. If we go on Rarity Tools, we find so many projects for every given day. So these are yesterday's sales. And you find at the very least half a dozen projects a day, if not 10 or 20 in a given day. Now, in mid-August, we had maybe 1 or 2 projects per week. Why is this problematic? Because if we have the same amount of liquidity flowing through a much higher number of projects, it means that it is much harder to get out of a trade, and that creates downward pressure on prices. Let me show you what I mean in concrete terms. So if we go on OpenSea and we go and look for a project that was very famous, very hyped up when it came out, Loot. Okay, we go and look at this one and we look at the price performance. What we find out is that when it came out, a lot of volume was there. And as the volume kicked in, also the price followed. And we've been saying this over and over again on this channel. It's almost an exact science right now. When you see a lot of volume, typically the price goes up. And you don't have a lot of volume when the price go up because people feel stuck in their trades. Okay, so they cannot exit, which is also why prices go down. And as volume started to deplete, to get lower and lower over time, you can see how this curve started to flatten out basically toward zero. So of course the price is not zero. The price now should be around 0.5 or 0.4. Can recall. Oh no, 5. Sorry. But back in at the end of August and beginning of September, we were in the 20s. So as an average price point. So this is a strong price depreciation that we are seeing, and is paired with low volumes. Now, again, why is this happening? Because even if you are in the green, so even if you are making a lot of money, say you are up 10x, you say, okay, but I really need exit liquidity right now. So I'm going to sell for 8x, 7x. And so if there are multiple people in the same position as you are, this is going to create a cascade effect and a downward price pressure on the price level that we are at today. Okay, so another project, same idea, Stoner Cats, was super popular when it came out. A lot of volume, spikes and in price and spikes in volume, almost an exact science, as I'm saying, a lot of correlation. And then as volume started to deplete, also price started to go down. So how do you avoid this phenomenon? Well, the answer is, if you are a time traveler, you know which projects will not be a fad. But you, of course, unless I'm missing something, you might not be a time traveler. You don't know what's going to happen in the future. And it's going to be increasingly harder to spot these type of overachiever projects in a basket of 10 projects every day. So it's super hard. So how do you do it? You invert, use the opposite approach. You can go on Rarity Tools and say, okay, this is the top 10 projects. Which projects do I expect to be there, to stick in the top 10 positions in the next week, the following, and the one that follows that one? Well, if you ask me, I'm sure that the CryptoPunks is going to stick around. I'm sure that Bored Apes is going to stick around. Same thing for the Cool Cats. I think that like 3 or 4 of these entries here are going to be there for sure next week and the following as well. But I'm not so sure about, for instance, the Doge Pound. Why? Because it's new and has been entering the top 10 very recently. So I'm not that sure that it will stick around for the long term. And you can use the exact same reasoning even for the top 20 if that's your thing, so that you can seek for projects that maybe are not so expensive, but that have been holding a given position for a relatively long time. And so you can expect a lot of volume and hence a lot of liquidity, which means that it's fluid. You can enter and exit a trade fairly easily. And this will also ensure that the project is solid. So if you're in this for the long run, this could be a strategy. Now, none of this is investment advice, but sharing with you what I think and how I approach this market. Now, one of the projects that you guys know I've been talking about over and over and over again is the Sandbox. And by the way, guys, the Sandbox is not sponsoring these videos. I've never met the team, but I like this project a lot because it is a project that has been printing very good candles when it comes to volume candles. People have been buying in for over a year. And volumes is consistent. So people are interested in this project throughout the year. It's proven not to be a fad. It's proven to be rather solid with the initiatives that they have. And of course, this is not a fair comparison 100%. Why it's not a fair comparison? Because it is a 100K item project. It's not a 10K items project. So if you see some liquidity here, it is easier to achieve compared to the liquidity achieved in a 10K project. So the market is bigger, so to speak. So, but at any rate, you find a consistent behavior. You don't find crazy peaks. These peaks that you see here are for public sales, so they don't really represent these spikes in hype that you would see in other projects. So look for projects, again, look for projects that show this consistent behavior. Of course, I tell you look for projects, but none of this is investment advice. This is just how I see things and I would invest into new projects coming out. So guys, if you like this kind of content, if you like to look at the data to inform your decisions, I suggest you to also follow the Blockgems bot at Blockgems bot on Twitter. We look at purchases and sales of large collectors, basically whales, and also join the You Heard It Here First Discord. This is a super cool platform, guys, because here you can fetch data such as listings, such as last transaction prices for basically any projects, absolutely for free. And this kind of insights is not an insight that you find on any other non-paid platform or system. So I think that this delivers a lot of value, and actually is the only place where you can find this kind of stuff for free. So I will put the link to the Discord in the description below. Thank you very much for your time. See you in the next video, guys. Ciao, ciao.